On the last episode of the GymCrafter podcast, I gave you a complete rundown of everything you'd want to look for if you're buying a new set of dumbbells, except some specific recommendations. That's what we're going to do today on this episode of the GymCrafter podcast. Welcome back to the GymCrafter podcast, everybody. My name's Tim. I'm the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I build home and garage gyms that we absolutely love. And as usual, I'm going to tell you I got a great episode for you, but I kind of do. So if you're into dumbbells and you're looking for dumbbells, this is the episode you want to listen to. We're going to go over all the recommendations of different types of dumbbells and some specific models that if I was in the market for dumbbells right now, these are the ones that I would buy. So hopefully it'll help you out if you're in the market for dumbbells as well. Before we do that, I want to do a couple of updates. One I promised you last week in a gear update. So I'm coming to the end of testing all of the budget gear. I've got some reviews coming out on the RitFit stuff behind me. If you're going to be buying stuff on a budget, you're looking for all-in-one trainers, you're looking for a compact leg press, the RitFit stuff actually lasted pretty well. I've trained on everything for 5-ish months now, and it's lasted nicely, it's held up well. It's got the typical, it doesn't have the best powder coat and some other aesthetic things, but if you're looking for something that's gonna work well for your money and you really just wanna stick at those budget prices, it didn't turn out to be too bad. Now, the other brand that I was testing, which for legal reasons I cannot name right now. However, being real careful to tiptoe around getting myself in trouble, basically what happened is I filmed about 4 review videos, 3.5, I didn't finish editing one of them, that were on the products that I was testing for another company. And I racked up so many issues with that stuff over the 5 months that I used it. It basically fell apart. So I wrote the company an email and I said, hey, I think it was 23 issues across 4 products. And I said, this is what I'm pointing out in the video. Do you have, can I include a response? Is there something you have to say? And the response that I got was, and I quote, if you post those videos, it will hurt our sales. We'd rather you not post them. So I'm like, well, I don't do it that way. That's not what our emails when we first got together basically said, hey, I'm very honest, I'm going to post honest reviews. Their response was, that's great, we want you to post honest reviews. I did sign a contract with them to produce a certain number of videos, but nothing in there said anything about the content of those videos. However, in there, it did say that they got to approve or not approve the videos. So they did not approve the videos. I posted one anyway. Some of you saw it, some of you commented on it, and I got a cease and desist letter from the lawyers asking me to take it down under penalty of legal action. So that's why that video is not up anymore. I then kind of went back and forth. I got another email from them basically saying that they wanted me to keep reviewing their products, put out positive reviews, and to give feedback to their product design team because they valued my critical feedback. They were going to pay me $2,000 a month, and I told them no, because basically it was this. Don't say anything bad about our company, publish positive reviews, we'll pay you $2,000 a month to do that. And I refuse to operate that way, so that's why you're not seeing any of that company stuff on my channel right now. I worked it out with my lawyer so that I'm done with working with them. I don't have to produce any more videos. I am not able to produce anything or post anything about them until August 25th of 2025. If I don't cool down in the next year, I'm gonna post all of the reviews that I made. Just because I won't be under contract with them anymore and they can send me all the cease and desist letters they want. I may not, I may decide that just in the interest of, as my mom always said, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. But I feel like I owe people out there the actual legit story behind this company and their products, which like I said, all just absolutely fell apart. They just didn't last. So I'm in the process of getting that stuff out of my gym. On the other side of the camera, it's a nice open space now. So I don't have to look at headaches. I don't have to look at stuff that I don't like to train on anymore. The folks that I train here were like, oh, are you finally gonna get some better stuff in here? So that's the story for that. Like I said, I gotta be careful about saying who it was, but I can kind of talk obtusely about it. If you've watched the channel, you know who I'm talking about. I am not barred from talking about them on other podcasts though. So I am considering going on another podcast or show or two to kind of tell the story, just because there's so many people out there pushing this stuff. And at this point, the people who are pushing this stuff real hard have to have had it long enough to know the quality of it. And I just don't think it's a good idea for anybody to buy that stuff. So let me know in the comments if you think I should go on some other podcasts and tell the story and call them out by name, because my contract says that I can't publish anything about them. it doesn't say anything at all about other people. So we'll see. But anyway, I try and have, honor character, all that kind of good stuff. And it doesn't look good to just go around talking trash about everybody else. I think I just did enough of that just now. So we'll call it quits on that equipment update. As far as where the gym is going, I'm looking at several options. I'm looking at some other companies who have offered to bring some equipment into the gym. But what I want to do is I want to kind of go mid-tier. I start every episode of the podcast off with the website that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I. And ordinary folks don't buy the budget stuff typically. I mean, people on a budget do, but most people who are building a nice home gym typically don't go super budget level, but they also don't go super high end. And there's enough channels out there with $5,000 Rogue racks and Rep Aries and Athenas and things like that. And as nice as that stuff is, that's all $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 gear. And I really want to try and maybe get something in here that's kind of just mid-level, really good bang for the buck. So I've been looking at the Fringe Sport Dane. I've been looking at some racks by a company called, I think it's called Loadable. They've made lifting straps and things like that up till now, but they've got some new racks out which look really nice and maybe a good value for the money. I'm looking at just some basic stuff, but just kind of middle of the road type of stuff. And if you've got anything that you've got suggestions, let me know in the comments what you think you'd like to see me bring in. But I think I'm going to stay away from the super high end and super low end. So that's kind of where I'm going. And then also really excited, in 2 weeks, I'm flying out to Utah to film a review on the Force USA C10. If you haven't seen the C10, it looks really awesome. It's probably the most unique functional trainer, all-in-one trainer that's on the market right now. When you pair it with the sliding bench that goes with it, it provides some really unique solutions. And I can't wait to get on this thing and try it, because it's one of those things that while it looks really cool, I didn't feel comfortable writing anything or filming anything about it until I actually used it. So I contacted Force USA, and to Force USA's credit, they don't give out free stuff to people. So I can't get one, which is what I asked for, but they are going to take care of me and fly me out there so that I can film some content on it, and they have been fantastic. So they don't put any qualifications on what I post and what I don't post and things like that. So I'll hopefully bring you some stuff. And while I'm out there, I'm going to spend a day and a half out there. I'm going to film as much other stuff of theirs as I can, because I do think they make some really good leg press options. I want to film a couple of other their all-in-one trainers. So for those of you out here who like that category of gear, because one of the things I'm thinking about is maybe putting an all-in-one trainer on one side and then just a plain rack on the other side. We'll see. You guys let me know what you think, but that's what's going on with the gym. Yeah, it's been exciting. Lawyers, the first time in 6 years at GymCrafter, I've had to actually hire a lawyer. So fun, expensive, but fun. Now let's get on to why you tuned into this episode, which is some specific dumbbell recommendations. So if you remember in the last episode, I went over all of the different things that you would want to look for in a dumbbell: the handle shape and size, the knurling, the size of the unit, the thing itself, the finish, the types of loadable, fixed and adjustable. So we kind of gave you some general guidelines so that you can look at stuff. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to, since I'm redoing my gym now I'm not looking at new dumbbells. However, if I was, I thought, wow, if I was to go out and shop for dumbbells right now, what would I look at? What would I buy in each of those three different categories? Loadable dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells, and fixed dumbbells. So I've got my recommendations here, why I like them. Also, let me know what you guys think down below. If I missed something, I'm happy to put it in the pinned comment if it's a good recommendation for people to look at. For me, this is a pretty easy shopping list to make, but let's get into it. And I want to start with the loadable dumbbells. I want to start with loadable for the reason that I personally wouldn't buy loadable dumbbells. I don't like the idea of having to take off and put things on. Now, I am in the minority. I got lots of emails from people and lots of comments from people who love their loadable dumbbells. There's definitely a group of you out there who like these, so I wanted to give you some recommendations. And in the last episode, I said, why in the world would you spend so much on these Rogue loadable dumbbells? And boy, did I hear from you guys. There was a gentleman by the name of Weird Rock on YouTube who posted the best probably summary of why. And that's because the loadable dumbbells from Rogue, the handles spin, so they're like mini barbells. So when you talk about, I talked about before, but when you talk about consistency of gear from your dumbbell to your barbell, to have a dumbbell where the weights spin so that if you're doing snatches or cleans, that the weights stay stationary. It's just a different feeling of lifting, and I've never used those type, but I would imagine that that's a pretty cool feeling. Now again, they're still not for me because I don't want to change weights. It's just not something I'm willing to do. I just want to put the little dial on the number I want. I don't want to have to do math. I don't want to have to figure out how many plates. But if that's not an issue for you, this is a really good option for you. It's also the closest to feeling like fixed dumbbells because they basically are the same format. So that is a good reason to go with those. Now, the ones that you may want to look at, the Rogue are going to be probably your best overall option. The one drawback for the Rogue, and one other option I'll give you, is that they do have the posts on the end. So if you're going to put them on your legs to rack them, you may want to get that ab mat cushion that I talked about last time. They make a little pad that goes on the end to protect your shins, or to protect your shins to protect your thighs. And so you may want to do that. But the Rogue, when you price those out, it's basically $1,000 for 2 handles and enough weights to do up to 100 pounds on each handle. So it's $1,000 to do that. As we go through this list, I'm going to give you the pricing on everything, at least the current pricing. I'm going to put links below for everything so that you'll be able to check the current pricing, these sale prices that are on there, current stock levels. So these prices fluctuate all the time. So if you see one you're interested in, check out those links below. Also, those are affiliate links. That's how I fund the channel. If you decide you want to buy a set of dumbbells based on the episode today and you feel like I've helped you, only if you feel like I've helped you, use those links. I do get a little bit of a commission. It doesn't cost you anything else to use them, but it is much appreciated. It's how I build these gyms so that I can show you. It's how I buy equipment so that I can test it, because like I said with the Force USA stuff, I don't get a lot of free stuff. So, and the free stuff that I got comes with lawyer bills, so it's not free. So use the affiliate links. I'd appreciate that. There is a nice option to the Rogues though. Titan Fitness makes a set of loadable dumbbells that work just like the Rogues. They have spinning sleeves on them. You can buy some of their iron plates. So I figured out that if you bought 2 handles, which 2 handles is $99 versus $300 for 2 of the Rogue handles. They're knurled metal. They fit the 2-inch diameter regular Olympic plates. And if you bought just some 25s, some 10s, some 5s, and some 2.5s, you could get the same combination for literally half the price of Rogue. So you could get loadable dumbbells with rotating handles. So instead of $1,000 for 2 dumbbells with 100 pounds on each, you can spend $500 on loadable dumbbells with up to 100 pounds on each one, and spend the other $500 on something else. So maybe you get those ab mat pads. But that's a good option for you. I haven't used either one of those, so I'm always trying to be transparent. I'm going based on your feedback and the general reviews out there. The reviews on the Titans are actually really, really good. So for those of you who have a bad taste in your mouth about Titan, but you haven't looked at a Titan product in the last bunch of years, based on what I saw at Home Gym Con, Titan has really come a long way. They've got a new owner as of a few years ago, or a new CEO as of a few years ago, and they are really focusing on quality right now. And I think that they're doing a real nice job. Now, are they up there with Rogue and Rep and all those? And no, they're not. But they're a whole lot better than they used to be. So if this type of dumbbell appeals to you, that might be a good option. Now, there's another type of loadable dumbbell out there where they have these kind of flat caps on the end, and that gets rid of the issue of resting them on your leg. And the most well-known of those are the Iron Master dumbbells. So if you like this type of dumbbell, Iron Master is a great recommendation. The Iron Masters will run you $1,100 for a 120-pound set. That's 2 handles and up to 120 pounds on each handle. So it's $1,100 for that. Kind of expensive, but if you like that idea of the twist lock with the flat ends on it, Iron Masters are pretty much bulletproof. Way back in the day, I used them, and I remember when they first came out, when they were demonstrating, they used to like load them up and throw them downstairs and toss them across the room. If you're looking for really, really durable dumbbells and you like the loadable idea, the Iron Masters are a really good choice. They're square, so they are gonna sit stationary. The other ones, the Rogue and the Titans, those are gonna be round weights, so they are gonna roll on you. That's something I don't personally like, but I know some people don't care. The Iron Masters are square. The benefit is they sit still when you set them down. Drawback is that if you drop them and they land on the corner, they may jump one way or the other. So just be aware of those issues with the shape. Now, if you like the idea of loadable dumbbells, or you like the idea of just buying some inexpensive adjustable dumbbells, I was looking at one of my viewers, Brozaya, suggested the Kensui Adaptabells. Again, I looked up reviews on those. I haven't used them. It's $130 plus weights, and those are going to be able to get you some nice adjustables that are flat on the end, so they don't have the post sticking out. So I'll put links to everything down below, but there's your options for loadables. Again, I'm not a big fan, but I know some of you guys are. I still think you're weird, but I'm gonna respect you. Do you, I'll do me, and let's move on to the fixed dumbbells. So if money was no object and space was no object, I would probably go with fixed dumbbells. I really like using fixed dumbbells. I think they look great in your gym like we talked about in the last episode. I also just like the idea of going up to the rack, being able to do drop sets just by picking up different dumbbells. I like the idea of being able to do supersets with different weight dumbbells and not have to change the weights on things. So I really like the idea of fixed dumbbells. The issue with fixed dumbbells is the price. They can be really, really expensive in addition to taking up some room in your house. But if money and space were no object, let's take a look at the fixed dumbbells that I would look at and the fixed dumbbells that I'm going to recommend you guys look at if you're in the market for something like that, because some of y'all have a whole lot more money and space than I do, and I don't want to leave you guys out. And if I was on an unlimited budget, I would absolutely buy the American Barbell urethane 10-sided dumbbells. They're 10-sided on the end, so they won't roll. They don't jump in different directions when you drop them. They kind of drop straight down. The way that American Barbell makes their urethane dumbbells is different than most other places, including Rogue, which I'm going to go over Rogues in a second. But the way that they apply the urethane to the weight uses a different process than anybody else, and this is really indicative of American Barbell as a whole. If you want to buy the best of anything, and American Barbell makes it, there's about a 95% chance American Barbell makes the best one. Their manufacturing processes are better than just about anybody else. They've been around longer than just about anybody else. Everything they make is super high quality. Everything they make is really durable, really well made. Fit and finish is fantastic, looks great, feels great. It's all just really well thought out stuff. If I had an unlimited budget for my whole gym, I would buy pretty much American Barbell everything. I just love the company. It's an American company. I think they're way better than Rogue. I think they're way better than Rep. They're just a class in and of themselves. And that class comes with a price. So a set of 10-sided urethane dumbbells that go from 5 pounds to 100 pounds will run you $8,750. And that's before you buy a stand. All of these prices for fixed dumbbells are going to be before you buy a stand. Those are by far the most expensive dumbbells on this list. However, Rogue makes some urethane, they're round dumbbells in the same size, 5 to 100 for $8,490. There is no question in my mind that if I was at that price point, I would spend the extra $300 on the American Barbell. They are going to be better across the board than Rogue. That's not saying that Rogues are bad. Rogues are very good. American Barbells are the best, and they're definitely worth the $300 price difference. So if you're at that level, go with the American Barbells. You won't be disappointed. They're just really awesome stuff. Now, if you don't want to spend that, I still like the idea of urethane over rubber. So the next tier down is going to be nicer urethane, but not spending that premium price tag. And that's to go with Rep Fitness. Rep Fitness makes a 5 to 100 pound set for $5,699. Now, if I had started with that, you would have said $5,700 for dumbbells. But when you compare it to the Rogue and the American Barbell, it's actually not a bad price at all. Again, this is before a stand. These are also round dumbbells. So again, something that I'm not a huge fan of, but it's not a make it or break it type of a thing. But if you're in the market for urethane dumbbells, fixed dumbbells, you don't want to spend that top premium dollar, the Rep Fitness urethane dumbbells are going to be the way to go. Now, the way to save the most money on getting a nice set of fixed dumbbells is to go with rubber coated. And typically rubber coated are going to be hex dumbbells. That's the most common. And they're going to kind of be big, thick weights on the end. So they're not going to be nice and thin like you see on the urethane. They're going to be a little thick and they're going to be shaped like hexagons. So if you drop them, they are going to bounce in weird directions, but they are going to sit where you set them. The nice thing about the Rep Fitness rubber hex dumbbells, and they run $35.99 for a 5 to 100 pound set, is that you can get them with a straight handle. And I definitely recommend whatever dumbbells you get, go with the ones with a straight handle. Rep also makes a set called ergo handles or ergonomic handles, and you'll see these everywhere. They're the kind of bubbly handles where they're wider in the middle. And even though they seem like they'd be more ergonomic, even though when you first pick them up, they might feel that they're more, I promise you want to stick with these straight handled dumbbells. That's going to be the best way to go. That's going to be the most consistent feel between your dumbbells and your barbells. And it's just going to be the best overall. The knurling is going to be actual knurling. You're going to be able to get a much better grip on that thicker handle than trying to grip the thicker part in the middle and then the thinner parts on the sides. There's some balance issues with those ergo handles. There's some grip issues with those ergo handles. As you can tell, I'm not a fan, and I don't necessarily recommend them. Now, if you go try those two types of dumbbells and you really like the ergonomic handles better, have at it. You're the one who has to use them, and you got to enjoy what's in your gym. So if you enjoy those more, then definitely go for it. But I would suggest if you're buying online and you're not sure which way to go with the straight handled. And that's why I recommended Rep Fitness. A lot of companies that sell rubber-coated hex dumbbells only sell those ergonomic handles. That's what's called an Alibaba product. So there's a company called Alibaba. They're just a giant catalog they're like Amazon, but for Chinese factories. And you can go on there and go, oh, I want a set of dumbbells. These are the dumbbells that you buy on there as a company. You just white label them for yourself or not even worry about that. Just, we sell dumbbells. So that's why you see these everywhere. I'm not a big fan. So stick with the straight handle dumbbells if you can. $35.99 is a great price for the fixed dumbbells. And that's really what I would look at. If you want to spend less than that, I would really think about looking at adjustable dumbbells instead. You're going to save a bunch of money, and you're not going to have a lot of the issues that you have by going with really inexpensive fixed dumbbells. If you go with super inexpensive fixed dumbbells, you're going to get weird handle shapes and sizes. You're going to get inconsistencies. You're going to get recycled rubber that just stinks to high heaven and makes your hands smell. You're going to have all kinds of issues. So I'm going to recommend that if you're below that $3,000, $3,500 price point range, that you go with adjustables. And that's the biggest drawback of these fixed dumbbells, is that they're expensive, right? So you got to really make sure that you want fixed, because while they are nicer, and like I said, if I had unlimited budget and I had unlimited space, that's what I would go with. I don't think that the delta or the difference between fixed and the nicest adjustables is all that big. So, I would definitely look at saving the money and going with the adjustables we're about to talk about. And when it comes to adjustables, I really think there's only two choices. I'm going to give you some more options to pick from, but again, if I was buying these for my gym, I would only look at two choices, and honestly, I would only look at one choice if I was buying them new, and that's the Rep and Pepin Fast Series dumbbells by Rep Fitness. It's been a long time since adjustable dumbbells came out, and you would have thought that they would have perfected them by now, but it was one kind of like half hit, half miss after another. There was always, oh, this is a cool feature, but this is a reason why it's not a cool feature. And it's just, nothing has ever had the whole package until these Rep and Pepin dumbbells. If these fit your budget, these are the ones to go with. I don't think that there's another thing that comes even close to them. I'm gonna go over some that people say come close and explain why they don't. I use these at Home Gym Con. I use the prototypes. They've tightened them up since then. They're on back order for a reason. Everybody in the world wants these dumbbells. Everybody who's gotten these dumbbells has done nothing but rave about them. They're durable, they're easy to use. Their form factor is actually smaller than fixed dumbbells. They're 120 pound set. That 120 pound weight is actually smaller than a 120 pound fixed dumbbell. They're like I said, they're the whole package. So honestly, I don't want to confuse a lot of people by giving you a ton of options. So really, that's the recommendation. The prices are actually pretty reasonable, especially when you compare them to what we just talked about. And that is going to be the 85 pound sets, $1,000. The 105 pound sets, $1,200. The 125 pound sets, $1,400. And they are upgradable if you start with the smaller sets. So you just can't beat that. So that's my recommendation. Now, Rep does make another set called Quick Draws. They're super durable, super easy to use. They only go up to 60 pounds, but a 60 pound set is $500. So if you're not looking to spend $1,000 on an 85 pound set and you don't lift a lot or you don't need 85 pound dumbbells, the Rep Quick Draws are a great way to go. And again, has all the ergonomics that you want, all the durability that you want, easy to change, just they won't go up to a higher weight and they don't, they're not expandable down the road. So that's the two from Rep that I'd recommend. If you're a contrarian, and I'm a contrarian, so I always like to go, oh, that's the popular one? I don't want that because it's popular. So keep in mind it's popular because it's the best, but if you're that person and you're like, everybody's getting those Rep dumbbells, I don't want those, look at Power Blocks. I've got Power Blocks right here. They're over 10 years old. These are the Elite 90s, and I've had these for a ton of time. The reason I don't have the Rep and Pepin dumbbells here is because I have these. As nice as those Reps are, they're not nice enough for me to spend another $1,400 because I'd get the 125-pound set. So I love my power blocks. I've always loved my power blocks. One thing people don't like about the power blocks is what they call the cage design, which is when you put your hand in and grab the handle, there's these two bars and they can hit your wrist. I've never had an issue. That's never bothered me at all, but I know it really bugs some people, so that is something to be aware of. But when you look at the prices, their Pro 100s, which are their nicest new set, have really nice knurled handles. A 100-pound set of those runs $1,086. So it's about $120 less than the Reppin' Peppin' 105-pound set. So in my mind, the reps are better, but the power blocks are square, so they don't roll. The rep are multi-sided, so they won't really roll, but they're not super stable if you want to use them to like anchor bands or something like that. The power blocks are also urethane coated, so if you don't like the idea of the bare metal, now the powder coat on the reps is really, really nice. I don't think you're going to have an issue with it, but powder coat does come off over time. The metal underneath may corrode. The reps are corrosion resistant, but they're not coated in urethane, which is going to be no corrosion whatsoever. So the power blocks are going to be quieter because of that coating. They're going to maintain their looks a lot longer. They're not going to scratch. They're not going to mar or anything like that. And they're going to be a little bit more protective of your floor. So if you have a wood floor or some type of a laminate floor and you don't have gym flooring, then it's going to be easier on your floor. So there's some benefits of the power blocks, and they're pretty much the same price. They're a little bit less. Now, if you want to go with a great set of adjustables, which you want to save a couple $100, then go with what I have. These things have been around forever. The Elite 90s, a 90-pound set like I have runs $800. So it's going to be a couple $100 less than the reps. Like I said, I love these. These are durable as heck. I've dropped these everywhere, including on my foot. If you watched the episode about getting yourself back from injury, if you haven't and you're suffering from injury or weight loss, you're struggling with weight loss or depression or things like that, I did make an episode to help you like that, so make sure you check that episode out. But basically, don't drop a dumbbell on your foot and not be able to walk for 2 years and you won't have that problem. But I love my power blocks. And again, I don't think I'm going to change them for any reason. One day when I'm a big boy YouTuber like Gluck or Coop or somebody like that, maybe Rep will send me a pair. But until that day comes, I'm going to have my power blocks. I'm going to continue to recommend them as one of the better options for adjustable dumbbells. Now let's talk about some other dumbbell options that I see people, especially the contrarians out there, who are like, I don't want power blocks. Those things are square and weird looking, and I don't want the rep ones. Everybody else gets those. So here's the recommendations you'll see. Snowed is one, and for a while, Snowed was your best option. Snowed came out during the pandemic, or mid to late pandemic, and super durable, really well made. The thing I don't like about them is they go on 10-pound steps. They do sell a set with these adder weights, these little magnetic weights to make them go up in smaller steps, which I wouldn't buy them any other way. When you look at the Snoweds, the 80 pounds plus the magnets are $805. They're basically the same price as the 90-pound power blocks, but again, if you want something that's shaped like a traditional dumbbell, they're round, they don't have any of that cage design on them. The Snoweds are very, very durable, they're very well made, and they're a good set of dumbbells. The reason I don't recommend them now is I just think that, for me, I would spend $200 more and get the reps, or I would spend the same and get the power blocks. I just don't think there's a great reason to go with the Snoweds anymore. But if you are a contrarian, you want one that looks and is shaped like a regular dumbbell, you want something that's durable, you want something that's got the cool where you turn the handle, and a lot of people like that. You turn the handle to the right weight and click, 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 and it does this. So that's pretty cool. So that's a good option for you. Snowed is a good place to look. Like I said, I think for the same money that you're going to get better with one of those first two options. And then the reason why the Snoweds were so popular are Dumbbells. And I'm just going to be real blunt. Don't buy Dumbbells. They're going to break on you. I always have somebody say, there's always somebody typing a comment as I say, if you drop them, they'll break. They go, I've had dumbbells for 76 years and I've never dropped my dumbbells at all. Great, you're the only one. So you're gonna drop your dumbbells, whether you do it on purpose or whether you do it on accident. Like I said, I didn't mean to drop a 90-pound dumbbell on my foot, but accidents happen. And if you drop these things, they are going to break. Here's what I'm gonna say about the Dumbbells and I'll move on. They are the only company selling dumbbells that also sell replacement parts on the same page that you can buy the dumbbell. That is about as big of in fact, they should just put a giant red flag at the top of that page that says, parts also sold, might as well just buy them now because these are gonna break, right? So Look, if you don't believe me, watch Gluck's video on the Dumbbells. He does a whole testing thing where he shows you why they're gonna break, not only if you drop them, but just through normal wear and tear. The workings inside are plastic. They're not a good recommendation. This is all my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. There's a ton of Dumbbells fanboys out there who are typing hateful comments right now. Hate away. You're never going to make me change my mind. I would never buy or recommend a set of those dumbbells. And that's why Snoads came out and were so popular, because they had the same form factor, they worked the same way, but they were all metal. They're much more durable. You can drop them. I wouldn't recommend dropping them because moving parts. And that's another benefit, by the way, of power blocks. If you're not a fan of moving parts, then power blocks are the way to go. There's no moving parts. There's no internals. Even the Rep and Pepin, there's some internal moving parts that may wear over time. We'll see. They haven't been on the market long enough. But if you're not a fan of moving parts, power blocks are the way to go. But the Snoads, the Dumbbells, the Reps, they all have moving parts. And the moving parts on the Dumbbells are made of plastic. So take that for what it's worth. The last one is I want to give you another budget option. They're a set of dumbbells I tested about a year ago by Nordic Track of all people. And they're called they're a 55-pound Select-A-Weight or something like that. But they're $400. They only go up to 55 pounds, but I will tell you that they're really well made. They're durable, they're easy to use, they've got a good form factor. If you're looking for a set of dumbbells for somebody in the house that doesn't lift a ton of weight, these are a great way to go. So that's my recommendation for all the dumbbells. What did I miss? What did I get wrong? You guys tell me in the comments. You guys do a great job of that. As usual, I'll put together in a pinned comment anything that I think that adds to the video, so people doing dumbbell research down the road, check that pinned comment and see if there's anything in there for you that adds to what I talked about. And that is this episode. Next episode, I've got something new planned. So I'm thinking about going to 2 episodes a week, and the next episode is going to be a very different format that I'm kind of excited about doing. So I can't wait to bring that to you. I'm going to turn this camera off and actually record that episode right now, but that will launch next week, and you'll see that, and hopefully we can get you guys to participate in that, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it. So if you've watched this long and you haven't hit the like button, as I always ask, please reach down there and hit that like button. It's not that hard. If you don't want to do an account where to like things or subscribe or whatever like that, I understand. About 60% of you aren't subscribed. If you do have an account and you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That helps the channel out a lot. That helps me keep going. The lower the channel subscribers are, the less that I can do with GymCrafter. So the more subscribers there are, the more companies approach me, the more companies allow me to do things with them, like fly me out to Utah and film stuff. So that's really, really helpful, and it's a no-cost way for you to help the channel out, and use those affiliate links as well. All that kind of normal YouTuber stuff. And that's really all I've got for now. So thanks for hanging with me all this time. I appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Thank you so much. And until next time, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.